Howdy, howdy, y'all. Welcome back to another special episode of Yallcast. Today we are joined by a Texas father, entrepreneur, and now podcast host. Welcome to the show, Dan Huber. How are you doing?
It's so funny.
That's great. Well, I had to have you on this. This has been a great podcast so far, and the people really want to know, who is Dan? What is your superpower?
Oh, the fucking Uno reverse card. I don't
You're
like this
in the
at
hot
all.
seat
I don't like this at all.
Oh my gosh, now you know how your guests feel.
Yeah, I'm my superpower. Curiosity.
Curiosity.
Yeah, I'm very curious about how things work and why.
Yeah.
Mostly why do things have to be this way?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't they that way?
Right. Why aren't they another way?
And what happens in between?
Yeah.
And what do I need to do in order to try and affect it from this bad way to something that's different, better?
Yeah. No, for sure. I love that curiosity. I feel like I'm a curious person too, and I feel like your curiosity really comes through in your empathy, in how you connect with people. Seeing the past few episodes of the podcast and how you've connected with so many different guests of different backgrounds, different experiences. Where does that come from? Like, where do you get that from?
Man, I'll tell you a couple techniques I learned when I was younger. I always tried to, when I met somebody, equate them to somebody I already know. So if somebody, looks like my stepbrother Steve, I'll think of them. Oh, it's like talking to my stepbrother Steve. So
Yeah.
I'm automatically feeling familiar with them in like a family way, not in like a
This
weird
is a stranger.
Yeah.
I don't know them. Got it.
The other thing is when I was younger, I always wanted to find out what makes somebody else tick. And I did it negatively a lot when I was younger. Like sometimes it was fun. I mean, a lot of times it was fun. Like I remember a girl wrote in my senior yearbook that I'm butchering what it was, but like you have the best ability to use your words. Sometimes they're horrible. Your silver tongue can cut people, shred them to pieces. And other times you say the most sweetest, nicest thing.
Right. Wow.
So,
That must have been an interesting thing to hear at like the age of like 17 or 18.
yeah.
Do you feel like you've carried that with you through what you've gone through over your life?
Yeah. Through the different seasons, always, I've always felt like I was in sales, having to be
Kind of sell yourself almost?
that or performing.
Okay.
I mean, the performing part came as a interruptive to troubled times.
Okay. Like to kind of keep the peace of sorts or make people happy when there's crazy going on?
So either that or to jerk people out of a shit show that was going on. So mom and dad would be fighting or they'd be mad at one of the kids. I'd come in and I was the oldest of 5. So I'd come in and make a joke and that diffuse the situation.
Yeah.
Cut
the tension a little bit.
Cut the tension. So, yeah. So It's always been a part of me.
Super cool. So I love how you've carried it through to this podcast. And so what led you to this point to start Yallcast? Like what got you here?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So people can find this out there. So was a mortgage banker in 2008, married with 6 kids and a pregnant wife. And the mortgage banking crisis happened, and it took about 3 years to go broke. As you remember, we moved from a house that got foreclosed on to a rent house. And then after that, I got really sick. And all of you kids were sick for quite a while. We couldn't figure out what it was. Fast forward, it was mold. That kicked open a whole health search about what mold is and how it affects you. And after seeing 10 different doctors that said, It's in your head. You're crazy. You're just getting old. You work too much. You got too many kids. You're stupid. Here's some Lipitor. Here's an antidepressant. Uh, Walked into the alternative health sphere and then started blocking blue light, which is what helped me get my circadian rhythm back. Your sweet sister Liz said, hey, you should start a business because none of you would wear the glasses off of Amazon. So we started that, and then figured out blue light was very linked to anxiety, depression, and suicide. And then we had your Uncle John and Aunt Michelle's friends I went to high school with, their son killed himself. And then another family friend of theirs that was friends with the one young man, he killed himself in a copycat thing. And a good friend of mine and your Aunt Katie's, he OD'd on heroin, but it might have been intentional, might not have been. Could have been accidental. But there was a whole, I don't want to call it a dysfunction, but there was again, that curiosity was driving me to figure out why. And, raising 7 kids in a digital world and then understanding what, benefits these things have, but also what kind of curse they can be. Because the blue light depletes dopamine, serotonin, melatonin. So you're anxious, depressed, you can't sleep. Kids 15 to 25 used to die from car wrecks. Now it's suicide. So this was about that. This podcast is about that, trying to figure out what is the cause behind the cause. And then also trying to navigate as a Gen Xer, trying to talk to Gen Z kids, trying to understand the Gen Z kids, and also understanding that the world has changed so much.
Yeah.
And that it changes minute by minute. And I can see in some of your siblings the anxiety and the depression just about that, about what to do, who to be, what am I comparing myself to on this bullshit social media? And then trying to figure out action items that are real and tangible that you could do today. So,
wow, that's a lot. So you really do have almost multiple stories of overcoming throughout your whole life.
Isn't that what life is?
Yeah, life is a series of overcoming, right? And
Yeah.
so as you're going through these things, the mortgage industry crashing, going broke, foreclosures, health, anxiety, and then seeing all these things with mental health and suicide, how do you yourself reset, or do you have any tools or resources that you use or that you look for in a tool or resource to help you go move through life?
I smoke a lot of weed.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Great. You have a dealer?
I'm a grower. No, yeah. So, man, look at you flipping this shit, little fucker. Yes. Because of my entrepreneurial nature and my ADD and my curiosity, which all come together, I have to have some structure.
Yeah.
And so I kind of figure out what works by trial and error, and then I keep it. So what works for me is keeping on a schedule. I try to be in bed at mostly the same time every day between 10 and 11. Try to get up every day between 6 and 7. 6:30 and 6:55. And then while I'm still sleepy, I just go jump in the cold tub for 3 minutes. Then I make my coffee. Then I do my prayers, watch the sunrise, get the barefoot grounding and sunrise in my eyes, and then off to the races. Those are the top ones that I do on a daily basis. And then, of course, you block blue light whenever you can with LuciaEyes.com glasses.
Yeah. Our great sponsor, Lucia Eyes. Check them out.
Drowning in blue light. It's messing with your melatonin and focus. Find your calm. Protect your vibe with Lucia Eyes.
Grab a pair at LuciaEyes.com. We block blue light, not sleep. Use code Yallcast for 20% off. Yeah, and then several other 100 things, but yeah.
So you find yourself in a series of trial and error as you learn new things. You try to implement practices. If they work for you, you keep them and you continue a routine. And if they don't, you kind of put them to the side. Those are for somebody else, essentially. Kind of how you look at your resources and whatnot.
Yeah, and then sometimes I'll revisit them. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's just not when the whole mold thing was going on and just learning that everybody was telling you what to do. And you
Mm-hmm.
had, you're trying 25 things here and 25 things there and all these supplements. And I couldn't ever figure out, is this helping? Is it not? So I shifted it to where I would try one thing at a time
Yeah.
for at least 10 days, if
Yeah.
not a full month.
A good
Try
like
one
litmus test.
thing
Yeah.
and see if it worked and how it affected me and not too many, sometimes two.
Right.
If one thing started to work, then I might add something else in.
Yeah.
But
Well, that
yeah,
makes sense. I feel
yeah.
like that's a great way to look because sometimes we see all these health things or we read things online or you see a viral video or something and then you end up you've got like 20 things on your shelf and you're trying them all at once and you're like, is
Yeah.
anything working? Is nothing working?
Yeah.
Am I doing it consistently? You know, all that sort of thing. So I think that's super helpful for
Yeah.
sure, especially as you're going through stuff, especially on the health side of things. So when you're taking in information on maybe on the mental side of things or learning new practices for yourself, how do you navigate like what information is good, what's not good information? Are you like a really research person? Like, do you read a lot, or you kind of just see what's online and just go from there?
So yes, you asked me
All of the
40
above.
freaking questions. So I do a lot of research. Um, Lately, the past, call it 5 years, maybe since COVID, 6 years. Social media, there's a lot of stuff that pops up, and a little clip, surprisingly, about one single thing will spark an interest in an idea. And then what I'll do is I'll dive into that and research and crawl and dig through what it is about whatever it is. Like that's how I, found Dr. Cruz. Actually, that was so even before. So Dr. Jack Cruz is the main guy that helped me get healthy. So that was like 2015. But I was too brain foggy to dig deep into it. But that was through a social media clip.
Yeah.
And so I really like to research and read a lot. I'll buy a lot of books and they'll sit on the shelf and then I'll go through and I'm like, oh, I need to read this one.
Mm-hmm.
So
So that's super cool. I just think it's very, very inspiring, especially as you have gone through so much in your life and you've experienced a lot of different things. Sometimes people can take that and they're like, okay, I know what I need to do. I don't need to listen to anybody else. I don't need to take anything else in. I think it's really cool that you are able to take what you've learned and grow from it, but also take from other people, which has led to talking to guests on this podcast and hearing their stories and experiences of overcoming. What's been your favorite part about these conversations that you've been having with your guests?
uh, recently it's when there's a nervous guest or a challenging guest trying to forensically pull out of them their story
Yeah.
and getting to something that even a lot of times they didn't even realize was in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really fun for me to kind of like watch their inflection, watch their body language, watch their eyes, see what, the little micro expressions that tell you a lot. I guess I should start playing poker. Again, I
You
guess
can
I'm
read
pretty
people
good
well
at
now.
reading. Well, that's sales since the
Yeah.
time I was 5 years old. So
Yeah.
that's 100 years ago. But yeah, so that's been the most fun.
Yeah.
Um, and then the curious nature comes together with like, oh, I'm really interested in your story and I really care.
Yeah.
And I know that I have this internal mantra. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but it's one kid a week. My hope is that one child a week won't kill themselves through our content.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's such a great goal. Like that's
Yeah.
such a great mantra. And I think having things that we can focus on and speak over ourselves or over our projects, I think that's a really powerful way to keep yourself motivated and encouraged throughout everything that goes on. Is there anything else that you do that keeps you motivated or encouraged throughout all the different projects that you have going on?
Revenge.
Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, that's kind of true and it's kind of not. So it's sort of tongue in cheek, but a lot of people get underestimated and overlooked. And I feel like there's been situations, I'm not going to go dig into them, where people have misled or lied, um, where there's been deals we were supposed to do together. And so I like I said, tongue in cheek, but it's motivating. I, I, I don't know if you don't watch Landman yet.
No.
There's a scene where Demi Moore is in a bathroom and she's two younger, really sporty, hot looking gold digger type girls kind of dog cuss her and tell her she's too old. And she got hurt and she looked in the mirror and she turned to the girls and earnestly, honestly said, "Thank you. Thank you for this. I needed this." She used it as motivation, kind of fuck you motivation to go give this speech. And that's a little bit in there. I made that a joke, but uh, I have something to prove and something to say.
Yeah.
So, and I want to utilize it to help, everybody. But, the thing about these kids, man, they're overwhelmed with bad info
Yeah.
and challenging info and stuff that can make them think that they're not worthy
Right.
and they don't belong and they don't fit in. And we've all been there.
Yeah.
I know I look really good looking and cool and all that, and it's hard for them to understand.
But I love that though, like using revenge as motivation, not revenge to harm other people, but revenge to kind of show people that they were wrong about you.
Well, not even that. I don't really think that way. I do have a little bit of that left over in like minor remnant fashion.
Yeah.
My bigger motivation for this is just not to um, see the sadness on people's faces at another kid's funeral.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Well, that's so important.
we had a kid that worked for us, and he had an outcry event, and I talked to him every day for, I think, 3 or 4 months. We had a conference call every day, and I'd check with him afterwards, and he still ended up killing himself,
Wow.
and it still haunts me. That was 8 years ago. He was 32 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't, nobody shouldn't be like, if anybody is in that situation, like anything that we can do to help obviously is,
Just reach out.
yeah.
It literally takes 8 minutes just talking to somebody to get yourself mentally in a space where you're not on the ledge.
Wow.
So if people will just reach out, and I can't remember who said it, but they have somebody on Instagram. Their text to each other was, "Hey, do you have 8 minutes?" Which is great because 8 minutes is not a long time
Right.
to reach out to a friend and
Just
visit.
check in and see how things are going.
And that's a great code word because then it's like, oh, I need to step out of this meeting.
Yeah.
I got to hang up with you. I got to take this call.
Yeah. 8 minutes.
Mhm.
Wow. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, when I saw it, I wish I could figure out who did it to give him credit because that's
Yeah.
genius.
No, for sure. And that's something that sticks with you, and that's something good input from social media and whatnot. So if you could summarize the goal of Yallcast, I know you touched on it a little bit, but what is Yallcast in your words? And
World domination.
and what would you say to your listeners that your goal is with this?
So I see there's a couple different audiences. So like your Uncle Rob, he's my cousin Rob. Like my boys would hear something from him and listen to something from him, and his boys would listen to something from me where they wouldn't listen to it from their dad. Or my kids will be like, "Fuck you, that's bullshit." But he can come say the exact same thing, and the kids will be like, "Oh, that's genius. Hey, Dad, did you know?" I'm like, "I've been fucking saying that for 5 years." So I hope that my goal would be what I hope people would see is that, like, oh, here's the cool dad.
Yeah.
He's somebody you could talk to. And I hope that comes across to where the information I'm trying to get from the people on this couch out to them is real, authentic, and something that's tangible and actionable today to where they don't feel alone. And I also like the single mom who doesn't know what to do and she's struggling with just making ends meet. And she's got 4 kids or 3 kids of her own, and she's looking for ways to connect and trying to figure out how, to talk to her kids, or the single dad who's been screwed over by the court system and he's got, for whatever reason, only 1 hour a week to connect with his kids
Yeah.
and have an impact. Not that I'm an expert and not that the people here are experts. We've had some experts, but everybody's human and everybody has some stuff that's worked for them.
Right.
And if somebody can pick and choose the pieces of meat that work and throw away the bones, that's my goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. I'm very inspired by what you're doing here, and I've loved seeing all the conversations that you've had with your guests in the past. I'm curious for you, knowing what you've gone through in your life and the challenges, the struggles, the overcoming, what would you tell your younger self today?
You little shit.
That's what you would tell your younger self?
You little taking all my damn quotes, using them against me. Give me an age.
Let's go 8.
8. Man. Okay. I was scared a lot. Yeah. Like fear just seemed to be ever present. What would I tell my 8-year-old self? I would probably say, it looks like things are difficult right now, and they are. And you're right, and it's okay to be scared, and it's okay to feel bad. But in a very little while, you're going to run into some friends that are going to be your lifelong buddies that are going to be better than your mom and dad and your family. And they're going to help you get through what's coming. And even though you're a young kid and scared and you feel like you shouldn't be here, you do belong.
Yeah. Wow.
And you are loved.
You're loved, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, what would you tell your 19-year-old self?
Don't drink so much, don't do so much drugs, and stop sleeping with all these girls.
Okay. And your 30-year-old self?
I don't know. I don't know. I would probably say it's not all on you.
Yeah.
It's not all your responsibility. Yeah.
That's good.
You don't have to fix everything. Oh, and then take care of yourself right now. Start taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
At 30 years old, start
Start
doing the
now.
work, the
Yeah.
work.
I love that. I have one thing I would add for your 30-year-old self, if I could speak to it. I would say,
Because you were 2.
no, your life is about to become amazing because your daughter Bailey was just born. And
Was I 30 when you were born?
I think so.
Oh, okay. You're right. Daniel was 30. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right. The daughter
Yeah.
Bailey was born when
No,
your
okay.
life's about to get perfect because you're the
Yes,
best daughter coming
100%,
ever.
totally. But no, I really like that. No, take care of yourself. It's not all on you.
Yeah.
I think that's a really important thing because something recently I've noticed is you call 30-year-olds kids too.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm 29, so I'm like, okay, you can't be calling these 30-year-olds kids. But at the same time, having gone through everything you've gone through, it's really great to be able to look at yourself back then and say, no, I should have started taking care of myself. It didn't have to all be on me. And I think that's a great thing for people who are 30 to hear, and they still are kids in a way because there's so much more life that they,
I didn't know anything. I thought I knew a bunch, but I didn't really know a lot.
Yeah.
I just started figuring stuff out just at 30.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, wow, there's some forces out here. So, but yeah.
It's good stuff.
And have more fun.
Have more fun. I like it. Well, I really appreciate you sitting down to talk with me today. You've done such a great job with this interview, and I know it's tough to be flipped and put in the hot seat.
Yeah, good job.
What's one action item that you could give to our listeners that they could take away today that would help them in their life?
Like, subscribe, and listen to the whole podcast.
Yallcast on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you find your podcast.
All streaming platforms.
Yeah.
One thing. Well, okay, so I'll do it in a story. So when I got really sick from the mold, I went into this like clinic hospital setting for 30 days.
Okay.
And there were really, really sick people, very sick from mold. And I was really feeling sick and bad, and then worried about you guys and your mom. And I was really stuck in my own head. And so I made the decision to go help somebody else. So there was one person that was there. Her name was Anne. She didn't have anybody helping her. And so I decided to try to look out for her. And so I got out of my own head, looked externally at helping somebody else. Because when you help somebody else, even if you're just saying a kind word to them or smiling, it helps them, but it helps you as much or more.
Yeah.
So try to get out of your own head. And if you're having a hard time, go volunteer or even just give somebody a hug, some stranger.
For sure.
Even smile and say hello.
Compliment. 8 minutes with a friend.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
Well, thanks so much, Dan. You did such a great job.
Trying to take my job, you little fucker. Filling in for guest hosts today is Bailey
In case you're
Spearman.
sick or something,
right.
I don't know. You need to take a vacation.
So this
baby,
is your screen test here?
No. People genuinely wanted to know who the person on the other couch was. And I thought this would be a great way to do it. Just flip it on its head a little bit. And you got so many more stories and everything, which is great.
Okay.
But I felt like that was just like a good little way to get a glimpse into who Dan is. And
She conned me into this, y'all. So there you go.
he didn't want to do this. All right.
All right. Well, good.
Awesome.
So we know you can fill in the spot now. You did a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Love you, baby.
Love you. Bye.
Adios. Yallcast disclaimer. Welcome to Yallcast, where opinions are strong, the coffee is stronger, and absolutely nothing you hear should replace your doctor, lawyer, therapist, or your grandmother's advice. Everything you see or hear here on the podcast, videos, live streams, all of it is for entertainment and information purposes only. The thoughts and opinions you hear belong to whoever is talking and not necessarily to Yallcast, our partners, affiliates, sponsors, or the great state of Texas. We try to get things right, but hey, like you, we're human, and all information provided is as is, with no reps, warranties, guarantees, and definitely no refunds if you take it too seriously. So if you make a life decision based on this show, we hope it's a good one, but that's on you. Nothing here counts as medical, legal, financial, or relationship advice. If you need that, please go talk to a professional. Sometimes we shout out to brands or products. Most of the time, that's just conversation, but yes, occasionally it's stuff we use every day and genuinely love. Yallcast and everyone involved here are released, indemnified, and held harmless from whatever happens next. We're just here to make you think, laugh, and maybe question blue light or your Wi-Fi connection. So listen smart, laugh loud, and remember, if you're looking for legal or medical advice, you're on the wrong podcast.